RD, you wrote a good piece on Chris Likes yesterday, and I really enjoyed reading it. And one of the things you talked about with him is what he said about Eric Musselman and the staff recruiting them. They said, "We need you." I remember that clearly. It wasn't just Muss, it was the whole coaching staff, and he felt like that they did the best job virtual recruiting. Richard, from what you picked up from these different high school basketball players or grad transfers that are looking at Arkansas, what stands out about the Razorback staff's ability to virtual recruit?
They just connect. They just connect with the kids and give them a layout how they think that they can help them develop and maybe get to the next league and next level. And let's face it, that's where all these kids want to go. They want to go to the NBA. Coach Muss and many of the staff members have been there, and that gives them cred, with the kids. So and they just communicate so well with them, and they stay on them relentlessly. And when you say we need you, but you may be in contact with them just occasionally. That doesn't send the word. Doesn't give the message a strong message. But when you're constantly in contact with them and letting them know how important they are to your program, that's obviously what they did with Chris.
So that's one of the guys that they brought in. They also brought in DC Tony. Richard, who are some of the other grad transfers that Arkansas basketball seems to be in a mix for in the coming weeks, man?
Jaden Gardner from East Carolina. He's one to keep an eye on. 6'7", about 225. Christian Bishop. He's also about 6'7", 225 from Creighton. Stanley Amunde from South Dakota. He's one to keep an eye on. Marvin Johnson, a guard. Those are just a few, but those are some of the guys that I've been paying attention to, and there's a lot of buzz with every one of them because their name has been associated with Arkansas.
Seeing how Muss is utilizing the transfer portal, what he's willing to do to overturn the roster. If you're a high school athlete out here, highly coveted, 4-star, 5-star type player, does that draw you in? Does that maybe give you a little pushback? Seeing a coach that's willing to overhaul the roster on a regular basis might not be for everyone, Richard.
Well, the thing is, just about every school in the country is kind of doing that as far as the transfer portal. That used to. I mean, obviously, say the top 50, top 100 prospects in the country, they're always going to get recruited. It's the kids that maybe from 100 to 200 that now, because of the portal, they may not get an opportunity on the high D1 level because the coaches are going into the portal. They may have to go to a mid-major or go D2 or something. It's just the nature of the beast. And hey, let's face it, the coaches nowadays they have to win immediately. There's no you could win have 2 or 3 strong seasons, then have a subpar season, then another subpar season, and you're gone. So these coaches have to they have to look out for number one, even more so than they ever have since college basketball's been around and college football's been around. So there's no playing around. You got to win, and you got to do it in any way, form, or fashion that you can.
Well, let's face it, if you're interviewing for a job at a Power 5 school, the last thing you can walk in with is a 4-year plan to rebuild. I mean, now with the transfer portal, you better have it done in 2 years, and that's becoming the expectation. The 4-year model is out the window.
Oh, no, and we've seen that. We've seen that in football. We've seen that in basketball. 15, 20 years ago, you got 4 or 5 years to turn a program around. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot. The expectation, like you just mentioned, is a lot quicker than that. Richard Davenport with us, Recruiting Thursday here on the Morning Rush. Richard, let's transition to football. I've been so focused on basketball as of late with the transfer portal, different guys coming in, different guys coming out. Who are some high-profile football names that Arkansas fans should be paying attention to within deciding their commitments within the coming month or so?
Well, nothing is official, but I think there's a decent chance that Quincy McAdoo from Clarendon, who's currently committed to Florida State, I think, you may be hearing something about him pretty soon. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to commit to Arkansas or anything like that. Maybe he may say, "Hey, I'm going to take some visits and stuff like that." But we'll see with him. And Marion Harris from Joe T. Robinson. Everybody talks about him, at least from the fans' perspective, because he's a 4-star offensive tackle from Joe T. Robinson. I think Arkansas is in good shape with him. Josh White, defensive end from Cedar Grove High School in Georgia, who I wrote about on Tuesday, looked like he was going to commit to a school on March the 25th, and he backed off of that. Now he's going to take some official visits, and Arkansas is going to be one of them. I like C.J. Smith from Orlando Bishop Moore High School, receiver, who also wrote about recently. He recently ran a 10.5 200 meters, and he ran a 10.59 the week before, and both times I saw a video of both of those races, and the guy was never challenged. And I think he's got very, very great speed. I think he can go from a 10.52 in the 10.4 range if he gets pushed in the state meet, and possibly even the 10.3. So you get in the 10.4, 10.3 range in high school, that's obviously elite speed. And those are just some of the guys that I'm paying attention to, but not all of them.
I don't think one of the guys that you mentioned, and maybe I missed it, was Faizon Wilson. I think I say his name right, and I know that he's down. Is it Arkansas and Bama who he's down to, RD?
Oh, you're talking about Faizon Wilson.
Faizon Wilson, I apologize.
Yeah, that's right. He was going to commit a couple of times, the past 2 weeks, and kind of has backed off. We'll just see how that works out. I mean, he's a big receiver from Duncanville, Texas, about 6'4", 6'5", about 210 pounds. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
What has stood out to you? Let's talk football for a second here with the red-white game a week from Saturday. What has stood out to you from the practice reports and what you've seen through the two open Saturday scrimmages? What's caught your eye to this point?
Well, it does look like that KJ Jefferson has kind of separated himself a little bit, even though I don't think that Coach Pittman is totally pleased with the way he's playing. But I think we kind of knew going in that KJ would probably be the guy, but it seems like that no one is really elevated enough to challenge him. I think that's one of the deals, and from what I understand, the offensive line is overall having a good spring, and there seems to be a buzz around the building that there's the confidence level in that group is much higher. And then, just some of the guys on defense. I think Jashad Stewart, I'm hearing a lot of good things about him, the defensive end from Jonesboro. I've always liked him. I think you're also looking for some of those younger linebackers to give you a little bit more depth, to be able to give Bumper Poole and Grant Morgan some breathers, like Christopher Paul and some of the others. But those are just a few things that I've noticed and what I've been hearing.
You follow the tweets and social media of a lot of these recruits, and I know that this practice or the red-white game will be open for people to attend, obviously, then on TV as well. What feedback are you getting? Who do you expect to see in attendance, and who do you know will be following along?
I haven't been able. There's some guys saying that they're going to visit for the spring game, but none of them said they definitely will. So it's with 2 weeks out. I think probably next week is probably the best time to start putting a list together, because a lot will say, I want to go, but obviously when it comes to making that trip, and also the possibility of them opening up, the NCAA opening things up in June is also in the mind of some kids. Why make a trip to a school when I can't interact with the coaches or tour the facilities? Why don't I just wait till June?
Particularly if you can get an official and the school pays the expenses to get there.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of them are thinking about. And Arkansas's already got several kids already lined up for June the 4th weekend. So it will definitely heat up if the NCAA opens things up. Hopefully the case count continues to go down a little bit, but there's some areas in the country that they're going up. So who knows?
Richard, before we let you go, we were kicking around the can this morning the best breakfast sandwich. For your money, what is the best breakfast sandwich out there?
Okay, I hate to go with a chain because I support local, local-owned businesses, but also chains are owned by local people too. I'm a Chick-fil-A egg white grill guy. Egg white grill, okay. Is that? Have you ever had one of those?
I have not. It's what, grilled chicken, muffin, and egg.
Egg white and cheese. Oh my God, it's good. David Basil's a big fan of it too.
Okay,
sounds too healthy for us, Richard. Egg whites, grilled chicken.
Well, the cheese, it's not as healthy. You got to have some unhealthy stuff on there too.
Yeah, we need some more butter, some sugar, some honey.
Throw in some grease,
some gravy.
Yeah, that sounds good. RD, appreciate it as always, buddy. We'll do it again next week, same time, same place.
All right, my man. We'll see you guys.